Greetings and welcome to using the TI-84 Plus. I'm your presenter, Lynn Mann. In this lesson, we'll concentrate on confidence intervals, specifically for single population mean. Using the TI-84 Plus to build confidence intervals is pretty straightforward. The hardest part is going to be figuring out what data we need. To be able to plug it into the TI-84 Plus, we need the sample mean, X bar. We need our standard deviation, and we need to know what confidence level we'll want to build the interval with. Clear this out. I'm going to go right back to my home screen by going second, quit. And then I'm going to click on stat. But this time we're going to run over to tests. And there's a long list of tests here. We want the Z interval. Since we're dealing with population, we want the Z interval. So I'm going to hit 7. And if I had some data where it was in the list, I would keep it on data. My list would be 1. If I did have some frequency in another list, I could use L2 for frequency and change my confidence interval. But in this example, I have the sample mean already. And I have the population standard deviation sigma. So I'm going to go over and use stats. So if my data is in a list, I would use data. If I don't, I'm going to use stats. My sigma is 2.2, my standard deviation. My average is 8.2. Oh, and I have to know how many I have. What's my N, which is 200 for this problem. And I actually want to build my confidence at 90%, so 0.90. And that's it. Those are the 4 information points I need to put in. The calculator will do the rest. And calculate. And there's my interval. So for this problem, my low point is 7.9441, and my high value is 8.4559. That's it. That's how you do a confidence interval when you have a single population mean. Now, if I did want to build a list, so I'm going to go ahead and clear my lists out. So I'm going to go to Stat, Clear Lists, and I'm going to clear my L1. So second L1. And now that my list is cleared, I'm going to go back and I'm going to edit my list. And this time I'm just going to put in some value. I don't want to be in L2. I honestly don't care about the values there. I'm going to say my values are 2.5, 2.3, 3.5. I'm just making up some data so you can see when I have a list how I would use a list. Now I do have to keep track of my N. 2.41 and 3.95. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's put in a few more. 5.1. We'll put in a smaller one, 1.96. And I need one more just to make 10. Why not? Okay, so there's my list 1. I'm going to go back to stats. I'm going to go back to my tests, my Z interval, but this time I'm going to change it to data. Let's say my standard deviation is 0.59. My X average, I need to change it over to data. That's why it's asking me for all of this. I want it to be in data. So I'm going to hit enter. And my sigma, my list 1, my frequency is 1, and this time let's say I want a confidence interval of 95% interval. And I calculate it. And therefore my interval is 2.7433. So it grabbed the X bar from the actual calculation of my sample and also my standard deviation from my sample. So it grabbed that plus my N. So if I use a list, I'm going to use data. If I'm actually have my standard deviation and my sample mean, then I'm going to use stat. And that's it for this lesson. Until next time, be seeing you.